Today, we're going to look at the absolute perfect starter homes. Like, you could not get a better place in a better area and a better home to be your first home if you're a young couple or first-time home buyer. Also, we're going to look at homes that are backing onto man-made lakes that are in like luxury areas and just like a good old-fashioned middle-class raised ranch and a whole lot more. Today, what we're doing is we're going to go street by street on this map through South Windsor. Okay, now South Windsor is a huge neighborhood. All right, so if you see on your map here, do you see this right here? This is the EC Row Expressway. It's a highway in the city. This is like the northern border of South Windsor. And then down here, this is Highway 3, which turns into the 401. So that's the other border of it. And then I would take these train tracks all the way up here as the last border. So everything in this big block right here that you see on your screen, that is South Windsor. There's also like a really good golf course in this area and streets backing onto the golf course. There's so much to show you in South Windsor. The schools are amazing. We'll talk about that as well. This is considered one of the better places in all of Windsor. It's one of the top neighborhoods, okay? So let's dive in. So what I'll do is I'll scroll in on our map, and I'm going to start down here in the corner. Okay, so this here is Walker Gates. That's the thing. So like South Windsor has a lot of, like, it's a neighborhood, but it also has a lot of sub-neighborhoods, you know what I mean? Other areas that you would call a neighborhood within the neighborhood. Walker Gates is one of them. In fact, if I click here, Google Maps, yeah, it does a pretty good job of highlighting all of Walker Gates. So you're going from Walker Road back to 6th Concession, okay? And what this area is full of is these brick raised ranches. They were all built right around the year 2000. Most of them have 3 bedrooms on the main floor, 1 bathroom. There's no ensuite. And then down in the basement, you have another bedroom, a family room, and a bathroom as well down there. These are a pretty good family home. The only problem with them now is that they're out of date, just because they're 20 years old, and most people don't start updating their home, 10 years in, 15 years in. Most people wait until it's really out of date before they start doing that. So when you see them come up for sale, they're dated. That doesn't mean they're very livable. It's not like you're buying a 100-year-old home that needs a ton of renovations. They're just not today's style for the most part. So let's have a look at one of them. Okay, so this one right here is exactly what I'm talking about. This is your typical raised ranch. Do you see? So here's how you can tell it's a raised ranch from the outside. You see windows really low, close to the ground. That's the basement down here. So the floor for the site is like right in between these 2 windows here, okay? So that's the basement. This is the upper level. They're really nice because they allow the basement to not feel like a basement because it's letting lots of light in, okay? They also come with an attached 2-car garage. Now this here, I'll tell you right off the bat, this was listed at $599. It sold for $615. So a couple things you need to know. At $615, it's probably pretty out of date. I haven't even flipped through the photos yet, so we're going to do this together. The other thing is you'll notice the listing price was $599. We're in a recession. We're still getting multiple offers and homes selling above the asking price right now. People typically price houses either what they're worth or slightly under. If they're at what they're worth, they might take 30 to 60 days to sell, and they'll sell around that price. If they're listed too low, then you're still going to get multiple offers, unless it's like $1 million house, in which case there's not that many buyers out there right now in that range. But for the most part, there's still a demand in this city. Despite having the highest unemployment rate in Canada right now, there's still a huge demand for homes, and you can still get multiple offers. It's wild. Toronto's not like this as far as I'm aware. Most places in Ontario are not like this, but we have a shortage of homes here. The housing crisis hasn't been solved in Canada, just FYI. We're just in a recession. So everyone that wants to buy is on pause. When we come out of this, it's going to be crazy again, I swear. Anyway, let me flip through these photos because I went on a big digression there, but so if you look on the inside, so I mean, we got slightly pink walls. The flooring from this photo anyway looks like the hardwood looks in pretty good shape. And this is like, 25-year-old tile. It's fine. It's slightly out of date, but it's fine. And then we get to the kitchen, and this really looks like, 2002, right? I mean, this is how they made kitchens back then. It's not particularly great, but it's completely usable. It's not granite countertops, but that's fine. Like it's not livable. It's just not up to date. Yeah. And we got carpet in the bedrooms. Okay, those are the 3 bedrooms, and this is the bathroom in the hallway. Again, there's no ensuite on most of these until you get to the. I'm going to show you some in a sec that do have en-suites. They're just 10 years newer, and they started putting en-suites and everything. So I'll show you those in just a second. But and then this is the basement here. These are the windows letting in a little bit more light than you typically would see in a basement window. Although not drastically, I will admit. Yeah. So anyway, this is a typical raised ranch, and it's going to be out of date, but you can pick these up right now for $615,000. That's the lowest, by the way, that I've seen in that area, unless it's really bad and it needs renos. They do get up to, I don't know, high 6s in that range, just depending on the level of updated. So again, a lot of Windsor can change on a street-by-street basis, okay? If you need help figuring out where's right for you, where do you want to live in the Windsor area, what can you afford, are the prices overpriced or underpriced in this market? This is what I specialize in, okay? If you're looking to move to the area and you need some help purchasing a home, that's my phone number on the screen. Feel free to reach out. We got a team here that can help you and help you get the right place, okay? So then as you work your way back, so if you're going to follow Ducharme all the way back up around this curve, once you get back here, you get something a little different, and it's newer homes. So these are built within the past 10 years, most of them, some of them even in the past 5 years, and a lot of them are raised ranches with the bonus room. Actually, you can get raised ranches with the bonus room over in this area as well, and they will have an ensuite. So let me show you one of those first. Okay, so this sold, this is like a couple years newer than the last one I sent you. This sold in the high 700s, and that's what these are going to sell for right now. And just to give you an idea of what a raised ranch with a bonus room is, it's the same style as that last house, except they put a room over the garage, which usually serves as the primary bedroom with an ensuite and a walk-in closet. So now you get the ensuite. Now you get 3 bedrooms, or 3 bathrooms rather, in this house. On the interior, it's going to look very similar in terms of you walk in the house. Come on, get to the inside. So you walk in the house and you got stairs going up, stairs going down. Same as the other one I showed you. There's just more room in this one. And then let me just get to the bathroom here for you. So then this is the primary bedroom right here. It's big, it's open, and then you got the ensuite right there and a walk-in closet right there. So that's the raised ranch with the bonus room. Now, I want to go back to what I was saying. So if we go back here, so again, you follow Ducharme up, you get to Cancun, you get to Rockport, Helsinki, Zanzibar up here. This is where you're getting the exact same thing, but it's like 5-6 years old, okay? So this here is a pretty good example. You can see how the build styles have changed through the years. Instead of full brick, now we've got stucco. Stucco's cheaper. Builders are using that more often. But it's the same style of house I just showed you, except instead of being built in the early 2000s, it's built in, I think it was 2019, okay? So you're 6 years old on this one. You walk in, stairs going up, stairs going down. It's just a bit more modern. It's newer components, so the hardwood's newer, and then you get like these detail work in the ceilings, which are really nice. That's not quite cathedral ceilings, but it's something in between. It's a little bit bigger square footage as well. And then just a more modern, updated kitchen with stone countertops. Yeah, so this sold in the high 800s, I believe, and you can get some that are even nicer into the 900s. The other thing to tell you about in terms of Walker Gates is you got a couple things. First of all, if you're interested in a condo, they just built a brand new condos right here that are pretty nice, and they're selling in the 500s. So that's an option for you now. If you're looking to rent, that might be a good spot to rent if you find someone renting out their condo that they built. Also, in terms of location, Walker Gates is fantastic. I probably should have started telling you this at the beginning. So 401 is right here. So if you're somebody that needs to use the 401 a lot, you're going to just come out onto Provincial, hop on the 401, and boom, there you are, heading up the 401. That's really cool. Also, Walker Road, this section right here, this is all the commercial stuff you're going to need. This is like one of the main commercial hubs. As you can see, we have a Winners right there. We got a Canadian Tire. You got a Kelsey's Roadhouse. And you got Costco, my favorite store on earth. Costco. All right. It's right around the corner from you. That is a big deal. Giant Tigers there. You got Landmark Cinemas. You got The Brick. You got Best Buy is around here somewhere. You got Rona, Michael's. Now I'm just reading the map to you now at this point, but everything you need commercially is like right in this area. So that's awesome. And then Talbot Trail is the school in the area. Where is it's somewhere around here, isn't it? Yeah. Talbot Trail right here. It says Early Years Center here, but it's also like it's a huge school. It's a major school, and they have a really good rating from the Fraser Institute. So this is the Fraser Institute website. Up here you'll see compareschoolrankings.org if you want to check it out for yourself, and you can just look at all the different schools all across Ontario, and you'll see how they rank. What they do is they take students' test results on province-wide testing, and then they rank every school based on that. 6 is the average in Ontario. This is Talbot Trail. It's a 7.8 out of 10. So it is significantly above the average mark in Ontario. So this is a really good school. And of course, you're like walking distance. Where are we here? You're walking distance from everywhere in this neighborhood. So that's fantastic. And then you got some parks over here, Talbot Pond and Captain Wilson Park. I don't know who Captain Wilson is, but we got a park named after him. Okay. And they got splash pad. They got places for kids to play. Yeah, it's a nice little area. Honestly, I can't say much bad about the Walker Gates area. Okay, so now we follow Ducharme. We get to 6th Concession. On the other side of 6th Concession, which is this street here, you get this neighborhood between Howard, 6th Concession, Cabana, and Dougal. So this big block right here. And what you find here are large lots. That's the appeal down here. So what you're going to get is older homes that are in like the 1960s. Like you get these here. You get bungalows that are probably 1,100 square feet with an attached garage on most of these. But the width here, you're looking at like 80 feet wide. Some of them are 100 feet wide, 60 to 100, depending on the house. So, I mean, that's a big benefit. Some people like this guy have torn down an older house and built a newer one. But for the most part, you're in the 60s, 70s around here, big lots and deep backyards as well, which is not something that you often get in Ontario these days. They give you have you seen a new home? They give you the tiniest little lots. It's kind of annoying. So if we look here and we scroll in, this is Ducharme, right? So this is this guy's yard all the way across, and it goes all the way back to about here, which is much bigger than most homes. In fact, let's look at one here. Let's look at one that sold. So this is an example of one that sold recently, okay? So this sold, I'll tell you right now, for a little under $600,000, so $573,000, which I know that's still very expensive, but that sounds low to me because I know that these were at one point going definitely $650 minimum when things were hot. This is an 80-foot wide lot, by the way. So you have separation from your neighbors, and that's a huge backyard. This is not something you get like a modern home. Like right here is like where your back fence is going to be. You have way more space. So that's really fantastic. Inside, it's fine. It's nothing spectacular. Looks like the flooring is in really good shape. But again, this is like a 1960s house, right? So it's not crazy updated, but it's definitely like a livable, nice home for a small family or downsizers for sure. And again, you get a nice backyard. So most of this area is going to be homes pretty similar to that, except when you get up here, like Socrates, you get something a little... Oh, and right here, St. Jude Court. Like, these are crazy. So these are, like, pretty new townhomes, and they sell for, like, $1 million, 1.1. They're 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom townhomes. But if you look on the inside, they're absolutely gorgeous. So this one here is an end unit that's currently for sale for $1 million, okay? If we flip through it, you'll see how, like, it's very modern, obviously, because it's new, but then the builders it's instead of just flat drywall, they got, like, detail work and all the ceilings. It's modern, expensive, engineered hardwood. They have a coffee bar over here, so that you're going to have your sink and everything in the main kitchen, and then you have your cocktail bar or coffee bar over here with a wet bar. You got detail work in the walls here, some wainscoting, which is really cool. Double ovens built in. You got the stovetop there. Like this is all the stuff they put in modern homes. It's very nice. a huge pantry to walk in. And then this here is more detail work in the ceiling that just runs up the cost a bit more. But this is currently for sale for $1 million if you want to buy it. Let's look at what else we got here in South Windsor. So then the other thing I was going to tell you is if you come down Socrates, around here you get some more modern builds as well. These are inching up on 20 years old, which is a lot newer than the rest of this area. And these are going to sell likely in the 800s for most of them. So the school district for this area is different than the Talbot Trail School over here. This area is going to Roseland Public School, which also is going to cover the Roseland area. We'll talk about in just a minute. At the Fraser Institute, you got a 6.3 rating. So it's a little over average, but it's basically an average school. Nothing wrong with that. Okay, on the way, we are going to talk about man-made lakes, luxury homes, beautiful areas. We'll also look at homes that back onto a golf course. We're going to look at some really cool like luxury stuff coming up. But right now, I want to dip here. You see Dougal Parkway and you see North Talbot right here. In between here is an area that has pretty affordable townhomes. So if you look down here on like Sagebrush, Showdown, Settlers, all around here, if we drop a pin, in here, you're getting townhomes and semi-detached homes with an attached garage. These have it's the raised ranch as before, except it's attached to somebody and a little bit smaller. So you get 2 bedrooms and a bathroom, kitchen, living room on the upper level. Lower level, you got like a family area. Some of them have another bedroom and a bathroom. But these are usually selling in the 400s. So this one right here is an example of one that sold for $480,000 recently. So let's have a look through the inside. These are all like 25 years old right now. Again, they're all built around the year 2000, most of these. So I imagine it's going to be aesthetically out of date, but if you want something relatively modern, like not a 1960s home, these could be a good option. Oh, this one has a grade entrance too, so that adds significant value because it allows you to rent out the basement, maybe make a rental unit down there. Again, I haven't even looked through this yet, so we'll look through it together and we'll see if they've done that in there. So yeah, here's the raised ranch, stairs going up, stairs going down, and then so this is what I mean about being out of date. Like I'm pretty sure this is just laminate flooring, and then this here is of an old kitchen. Yeah, so this is $480. And that is everything here is original. Like this is right from the early 2000s. Same with this bathroom. Again, it's livable. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just not aesthetically up to date. We got some carpet in the house. And then the basement is partially finished. Okay, so you could finish this and make a rental unit down here and bring in some money that way. I know a lot of people are doing that, especially with generational living right now. So that could be what the purchaser was thinking when they purchased this. But that's $480,000. Okay, so that's really all I want to say about this area. But if you come down here, this is what I want to talk about. This is Southwood Lakes. So this is an area of South Windsor that's pretty, I don't know if I'd call it luxury. There's a few streets that might be luxury. It's just like, an upper middle class area that's always considered a really good spot to live. And they've made, the builders, they put man-made lakes all through here. And it's funny because this is like a pretty Italian area, I think. And they got like Lake Como right here, which of course there's a Lake Como in Italy that's very beautiful. Yeah, I want to show you some stuff that sells around here because there's a wide range. You can get some townhomes, you can get some small houses, and then there's huge homes that back onto these lakes. Like these are really gorgeous here. In fact, I think I have some drone footage of some of the stuff that backs onto this lake. So and it's filled with parks too, by the way. Like if I scroll out here, like park here, park here, park here, park here. There's parks everywhere. So lots of parks. Pretty good school district as well. Not as good as the one we were looking at earlier, but pretty close. It has a 7.1 rating. It's Southwood School, okay? But anyway, let's flip over to the satellite view for a sec so you can actually see. So here's Lake Grande. You got houses backing on to the lake that are pretty big, and then you got park here, park up here, park everywhere, okay? So this is a house that sold recently backing onto Lake Grande, okay? So that's Lake Grande here in the back. This is a house. This sold for a little over 1.1 million. So this shows you the range. You can get some stuff, $800,000 in Southwood Lakes, but if you're backing onto the lake and you're a nice big two-story, you're definitely going to be over $1 million. This is a gorgeous house from the outside, and it's full brick too. Remember earlier when I showed you like a newer build and it was all stucco? This is all brick, which is more money. All of these are going to be about 20, 25 years old now as well. Like a lot of this part of South Windsor is that age. Excuse me. A lot of this part of South Windsor is that age. So some of it's going to be outdated. Like this is outdated tile and stuff like that. But it's not really a huge deal. It's very livable. Definitely open concept. And we got a formal dining room in here, which is not something... Nowadays, new builds are all just one giant room. Have you noticed that? It's nice to have like your own formal dining room. Okay, so yeah, some carpet. Wow, that's some bold wallpaper. Bold wallpaper. So, carpet in the bedroom. So now you're getting the picture for how, you know, it's a little out of date, but it's still a very nice home. It's still very livable. And this sold for 1.1, just a little over 1.1. With that in mind, can you imagine what the price would be if it was all completely renovated, right? Now you're tacking on a couple $100,000 more if it's updated. Most of them aren't. I mean, almost everything you're going to find in here is out of date. Now, if you want one floor living and you want something cheaper, like a townhome, they do get much cheaper. You see all down here, these are all townhomes, and I think they're all ranches. If not, most of them are one floor ranches with a basement. So if I show you this one here, this sold recently for $670,000. Okay, so you're like almost half the price of the big one backing onto the lake. You're still walking. Oh, by the way, side note, this area has a ton of great walking trails. I know I mentioned parks earlier, but instead of just a sidewalk like close to the road, they've got these wide like paths that are great for walking or biking or rollerblading or doing whatever you want to do. And they connect to all the parks all around the area. So they've done a really good job of making this just a beautiful neighborhood, very serene, very nice to walk around. And this house here is right by all those paths and all those parks. Even though you're not backing onto the lake, you still get the benefit of being right there. Again, so this is a townhome. Okay, and it's one floor living. So you come in the front door, you're right into your kitchen. This looks like they've updated this. Okay, because again, these are like 25 years old. They got cabinets going straight to the ceiling with molding at the top. This is beautiful. And this is new flooring as well. So that is an expensive stove. Dang, dude, that's a great stove. Sorry, I nerd out on stoves, I guess. Yeah, they've done a really good job. There's a lot of cabinetry in this place, and this sold for $670,000, which is nice. So the question is, there hasn't been one that sold recently, so I can't show you, but the question is, if you get one out of date, what price can you get it for? Definitely in the 500s. And a beautiful backyard there. Okay, so there's a varying degree of updated in this area. You're going to find a lot of them that are completely out of date. That one was gorgeous, and that sold for $670,000, okay? So that shows you the range that you can get in this area. Backing onto the lake, I mean, this one right here, this is a massive house. This is going to be $1.5 million or something like that, right? But just a basic two-story backing onto the lake, you're probably in the 1.1s right now. Coming up, we're still going to get to like the perfect starter home. Like, I don't think there's a better place in this in the city and a better style of home to buy for a first-time home buyer than what I'm going to show you a little later on. We're going to look at stuff backing onto a golf course and the outlet malls, by the way. We got like discounted Banana Republic and Levi's and all that stuff in our area. So we're going to look at that too. Anyway, so this was Southwood Lakes. Very nice area. If you hop over Howard Avenue right here, you get to what is now considered the Roseland area, which is all up here from the 401, Cabana, and down Dougal, Howard, all right here. This is Roseland, and is named that because right here is Roseland Golf Course. Right here, smack dab in the middle. It's a public course, and it's a pretty nice one, from what I understand. What you need to know is the streets are right around. There's two streets that circle this, right? You got Roseland Drive, and then you got Casgrain, and over here it's Kennedy on this side. They sell for a lot of money. Like, we're talking old, out-of-date homes selling for a lot of money because the value is in the land. Like, people buy them, they knock them down, they build mansions Okay, so we're going to look at that. And then down here is where I want to start, because we were just over here, like Lake Trail. This is Southwood Lakes, Cross Howard. Now you're into Roseland. And down here, it's different. Down here, it's not old homes, big lots that have been torn down. This is all, again, 20, 30 years old. And you can get raised ranches, you can get 2 stories, and you're going to sell. Right now, I mean, it used to be so much higher. Right now, you're probably 600s to $1 million, depending on the house. So let's drop a pin down here on like Hunt Club Crescent, okay? Just drop a pin down here, just so I can show you the type of homes you're getting here. So the 2 stories, they're going to sell probably in the 900s. And then you're going to find raised ranches like, here you go, raised ranch right here. Probably in the 800s. You're probably right around high 7s, low 8s right now for these, depending on how updated they are. And again, they're just like how we started this video. They're all built around the year 2000. So they're not that old, but they're not that new either. This is raised ranch with the bonus room. Same with that one. So if you find a nice big 2-story that's relatively modern, up to date, you're going to be $1 million. But I mean, for most of these, you're under $1 million. You're between 8 and $1 million, I would say. Okay. Season change. So here's an example of one that sold recently. Listen, they listed this at 700 and it sold for 800. So again, we're reiterating that we still get in the middle of a recession, highest unemployment rate in Canada, in Windsor, and we're still getting multiple offers on things because it's not as doom and gloom as the news likes to make. Listen, they need you to click on those headlines. Okay, they need you to stay tuned. It's not that bad. The prices have come down. We're in a balanced market, but it's not a buyer's market. I'll tell you that. So this is a raised ranch. Again, we're 25 years old. This one they've kept up to date pretty well, and this sold for $800,000. So it looks like we got a new kitchen in here, which tells me there hasn't been one that sold lately, so I can't pull one up. But which tells me if you find one of these that haven't been updated as well, probably get $100,000 less. Yeah, decent little house, and it's a really nice area in the Roseland neighborhood. And again, like there's no bad schools really in South Windsor, right? So we're still at that Southwood school for this one right here. So you're looking at, I think it was a 7.1 rating out of 10 for the Fraser Institute. So again, an above average school. Now, if we come up, once we get past Country Club Drive, things start to change. And this is what I was talking about earlier. Now you're in a very old area from the 50s and the 60s. And people are regentrifying the neighborhood. So they're taking those 1950s homes, they're tearing them down, and they're building nice and big ones. So let's just drop a pin here along Roseland Drive. Whoa, look what we found. As soon as I put the pin down, we find a mansion. This, I guarantee you, this was probably 2 lots that they bought, and it probably had homes like this on it before. So you see the contrast right here. This is a 1960s bungalow with a detached garage, and then they built a little breezeway, and this is a really wide lot, okay? A lot of people, most of the value of this home is in the lot, okay? Let's go down here. What do we got here? See, you get a lot of this, too. This is a really small vinyl-sided home. People are tearing them down, and they're building these huge ones. What's beside it here? See? Look at that. So this was the same thing. They had a small house like that. They tore it down. They built a big one. Go back to this huge one. Yeah, it's a gorgeous home. So for this home here, let's take this one here. So I'm going to assume that inside it's completely out of date. Okay, let's say it's got a 1960s cabinetry in there in the kitchen, and it's got old carpeting, and it kind of smells like a dog. Let's just say, okay, you're still probably going to get $500,000 for that. And the reason is because the value is in the land. Because you're backing onto a golf course and because it's a super wide lot. So you can build a giant home like this one because the lot is so wide. So there's lots of potential there. Now, if you actually do see a house like this come up for sale, which I haven't in a long, long time, I mean, you're between 1.5 and 2, depending on the house. I think this one down here would definitely probably be like $2 million right now, even right now in this recession. So, it's considered a really nice area. And in terms of location too, so obviously you got a golf course there. A couple other things to show you. So up Dougal Road over here, You've got some really good restaurants, like Spago's is a fantastic restaurant in Windsor. It's an Italian restaurant. If you go further up Dougal, you got some stuff up here. You got a Walmart too. Where's the Walmart? Yeah, so the Walmart's right there. You got a ton of good restaurants, including Capri Pizza is up here somewhere, or Capri Pizza right there, or Arcada's across the street. And then just over here, you've got our main mall. This is our biggest mall in the county, and they have a ton of stores in there as well. So commercially speaking, between Dougal and Howard and right here beside you, you have a ton. And then, guys, right over the corner here of this 401, over here, you get to... Windsor Crossing right here. This is all of our outlet malls. So things in these stores are cheaper than a normal, they got a Puma thing here. So the Puma shoes would be cheaper than they normally are. What is this? I didn't know they did this. Right on. Horse carriage rides around Christmas, trying to get you out to the malls, not online shopping, right? But yeah, they got Gap in here. They got Banana Republic. They've got Columbia Sportswear. They got a whole ton. They got Aldo shoes. And yeah, so you got a lot of discounted brands right there. So there's a lot in this area commercially for you. Now, things start to change quite a bit once we get back further away from the golf course. Then we get to Longfellow, Mount Royal, Villa Maria. These are wonderful streets, and they're much more affordable, okay? So in this area, you're $500,000, $600,000 for the most part, and you're going to get a little bit bigger. You will find bungalows. Like, there's lots of those, one-story bungalows, but you also get side splits in this area. So let me just drop... let's drop a pin here. Let's go down to Mount Royal and just scoot around here. So right away, I drop you somewhere where, the tree's kind of in the way, but this is a side split. So you walk in the front door, living room, kitchen. Up here are the bedrooms. You go downstairs, you got like another den, another family room, and a lot of stuff down there. This is a really nice area. And it allows you to get, and look, detached garage too. So you can pick these up in the 600s. Now you're talking in terms of finished living space, you're over 2,000 square feet once you include the den and the basement. And it's at a pretty reasonable price for Ontario. And this, of course, is an example of the bungalows as well, which you can pick up in the 500s. This is a really nice area. I know I keep saying that over and over again. I'm trying to remember things to tell you about. Again, you're close to everything that I've already talked about around here. In fact, you know what I'll do? I'll show you one that sold. Okay, so there hasn't been any of the side splits that I showed you on Google Street View to show you that have sold. All right, so I'm not going to do that. I can tell you they're in the 600,000s, though, for the most part. If it's really nice, you might hit the 7s. But here's an example of something that sold recently that was very nice in this area. So this sold higher than the average for a bungalow because of how renovated it was. So I'll tell you that right off the bat, okay? So we've got a metal roof up here. These are extremely expensive, and they have a 100-year guarantee on the lifespan. So you'll never have to replace the roof again. Also, detached double-car garage. That adds significant value. All right, now let's get inside. Beautiful home. So they've done it up nice. There's a carpet over the flooring, so I can't tell you if it's new or updated, but you can tell immediately. Oh, look at that. So you can see from the width of the flooring here, this is new updated flooring. I would doubt that they redid everything in engineered hardwood, but it looks pretty nice. It's not engineered hardwood, I can tell. Dining room, and then you get to the kitchen. It's a little bit dated, but hey, not everything is going to be completely updated. This listed and sold for $590,000, okay? So you're under 600. Again, most of them in this area that are these bungalows, they're going to sell for 525, 550, that range. It all just depends on how renovated and how updated it is inside. We've got a little kitchenette in the basement too. That adds a lot of value as well. So you got a lot going on here. So in my opinion, homes like this are the perfect starter home. I'm going to show you a lot more. There's a neighborhood coming up that is essentially just all these homes that are these brick ranches from the 1960s. So I'm going to show you those. They make a great starter home. What else we got coming up? We've also got a really cool neighborhood close to the mall that has like modern, large 2 stories that are absolutely beautiful, okay? All that is coming up. So now we come to this big bulk of, this is like the main South Windsor section between the EC Row Expressway, Cabana Road, 401, and Dougal right here. And most of this area is ranches. They're these 1960s bungalows that are perfect for first-time home buyers. And it's honestly most of this entire, like if I'm just going to drop a map or a pin on the map somewhere here, we'll see what we come up with here. See, boom, there you go. This is like 90% of South Windsor. It's these bungalows. They're absolutely everywhere. Some of them, like this here, this is a 1.5 story. All of these are selling right now in the 500s, and they make great starter homes, okay? You're going to be in a great school district. You're going to be in a very safe area. You're going to get a nice brick bungalow. They're just like the perfect starter home. Look at the curb appeal of some of these. Some of them have a garage in the back. That adds value, of course. But yeah, they're just beautiful little starter homes. Let's look at one that sold. Okay, so this one right here, this one was actually kind of expensive for the area for, well, at least for 2025. This sold for $563,000. So a little over 5.5 for a bungalow brick home. But as you can see, like it's full brick. There's no like vinyl siding on any of these. It's a pretty wide lot. So this right here, this is 70 feet wide. So again, instead of being squeezed up on your neighbor like they build them nowadays, you have some space. And of course, you saw the detached garage there that was in the back. Right there, nice little backyard, covered porch, which is nice as well. Nice little yard. Let's get to the inside. Okay, so now we get to the inside, still going to be out of date. All right, so again, these are 1960s. They're in varying degrees of updated. I'll try and show you one in a sec that's more updated. But this carpet in the living room, and then I can already see the kitchen kind of hiding in the background. This is, what would you say? Is that 80s cabinets? Or are they original? I don't know. They're pretty old. The cool thing, by the way, investors, cool thing about these homes is off the kitchen, like this is the back door just out of frame here, and then it goes straight downstairs. So if you wanted to block this off and build a rental in the basement, you could definitely do that. That's an option. 3 bedrooms upstairs. There's the bathroom, and then you come down to the basement. Again, the back door is right up there. You got a finished basement as well. It's not like super high ceiling height. Like it's going to be just, what are they? I mean, 6 feet, a little more with the drywall covering it. But yeah, that sold for $563,000. Okay, and now to show you the other side of the coin here. So this is one that was completely gutted, completely updated. This sold for $635,000. So you're like, you tell me what you think about this, okay? So you're not even $100,000 more. And check out the inside. So again, we got the detached garage. I think that one's a bit bigger. Boom, you come in. It's been completely renovated. Look at this kitchen. So they gutted this whole thing. They put pot lights in the ceiling. They got brand new cabinets. They got stone countertops. It doesn't look like they touched the tile on the floor here. But they got some, is this stone? I think it's all stone backsplash too. That's pretty nice. Okay. So we got 1 bedroom. They're calling an office here. Another bedroom. That's the bathroom. So they did some updates here too. New vanity, new toilet. And then they finished the basement. So aside from the kitchen, it's not spectacular, but it is updated. And this sold for $635,000, whereas the other one sold for $560,000. And you get that nice detached 2-car garage. It's a big garage. Yeah, so I mean, this is probably the most expensive ranch you're going to find in the area. Like they normally don't hit the 600s right now in this market. If this is the type of thing you think you might want to purchase or you need more information about, again, this is what I do for a living. I help people move down to this area from all over Ontario and Canada. Feel free to reach out to me if you need help figuring out like how much should I be paying in this market? Like, is it overpriced? Is it underpriced? All these sorts of things is what I help people with every day, and I'm very good at it, okay? So that's my phone number. Put it in your phone and shoot me a text when you need some help, and we can tell me what your goals are, and I can help you figure out. Tell me what your goals are, and we'll figure out if I can help you reach those goals, okay? So text me anytime. If you want something a little different than the ranches, so there are some streets that have really nice two-stories. So if you come over here, you have Bellwood Elementary School right there. Now, Bellwood is one of the, it's got like a 9-point-something rating from the Fraser Institute. In fact, let me look it up here. What are we at here? 9.4 rating from the Fraser Institute. It is a French immersion school, but it also has some English programming as well. It's located right here. The houses around this area, Buttery, St. Clair, California, these are really nice 2 stories that are now 30 years old or so. So again, a lot of these are going to be out of date and stuff, but if you come down this street here, like these are nice full brick 2-story homes. It's a beautiful street. It really is. So, I mean, you could be anywhere from 800 to $1 million in this area, just depending on if they've updated their home. Okay, let me actually pull one up. Okay, so I want you to tell me what you think of this house here. So this, I think, is a beautiful home, but it needs a ton of work. So this sold for $835,000, and this is on one of those nice streets I told you about. So in Ontario, $835,000, you get a 2-story, but look at the inside, okay? So again, it's a 2-car garage. I love the beautiful red brick. Okay, we get it immediately out of date when you get to the inside. Old trim, could use a coat of paint. Tile needs some updating. But not terrible. I mean, like, what would this room look like if you replace the trim and painted? It's natural hardwood. Like, it's good. It's real hardwood. Here's the kitchen, okay? So the kitchen, obviously out of date. There's no getting around that one. And the tile in the kitchen is very out of date. But again, and here's another living room, by the way. So there's 2. There's 2 living rooms, formal dining room, eating kitchen. This is just, like, I love the look of this. Like, they don't build them quite like this anymore. I think that's beautiful. Very grand, okay? You still get the ensuite and master, but, I mean, look how out of date that is, right? So, I mean, again, this is a big house. This is probably 2,500 square feet, and you're getting this for $835,000 in Ontario, and in a great city as well. On one hand, you're not finding that elsewhere. On the other hand, it's completely out of date, and you need to put some work into it, but I don't know, it's a dynamite area. You're in the best school district in the city, and you got a lot of space in this house. And a pool. Beautiful. Beautiful home. Anyway, so you can talk amongst yourselves about whether you'd want to live there or whether you'd pay that for it, but I think for Ontario, that's a great deal. All right, so that is right by Bellwood Public School, and that's where you're getting some 2 stories. But for the most part, most of this area is those bungalows and maybe some side splits as well. The last spot to show you that I would still categorize as South Windsor is between Dougal and Howard Avenue. Now remember, the mall is right here. This is Devonshire Mall. Right across from the mall, this is a nice area with a few different streets. Okay, so first of all, Victoria Boulevard down here. This is a very old street that is unlike the rest of the area, okay? So they have this cool median in the middle just to make it feel like a park, and these are the types of homes that you're finding here. Like, very unique design, very large, very unique, very majestic homes. There hasn't been anything that's sold in like 2 years in this area. So, I mean, to give you a price is pretty difficult, but I mean, $1 million is pretty standard for a lot of these in this area, especially depending on the size. I mean, look at this one, okay? That's a gorgeous old home on a huge lot, all right? I don't have any modern pricing to show you for this area, but something like this is going to be well over $1 million. But that's not that's just Victoria and maybe Olette here. But the rest of this is much different. The rest of this was built within the last 20 years. So if we come down here, you've got Whiteside, you got Inglewood down over here. These are really nice streets. Let me show you one. These are really nice streets that are about 25 years old and brick 2 stories. A lot of these are going to be 3,000 square feet above grade. And I think they're beautiful. They're really nice homes. Again, 25 years old. A lot of South Windsor is at that point when they're going to be out of date. And at one point, like in 2022, these are going like $1.2, $1.3 million. You're going to get them a lot cheaper now. In fact, look at this one right here. So this just sold for a little under $1 million. So you're in the 900,000s, bumping up against that $1 million mark. And this is going to be 3,000 square feet above grade for sure. Look at this giant, like there's no ceiling here. It's a 2-story ceiling for this giant office when you first walk in. That's really cool. I love that. Okay. Not drastically out of date. You know what I mean? Like, I like the wainscoting here. The hardwood floors look like they're in decent shape, at least from these photos. Not crazy about the backsplash, but the kitchen cabinets don't look terrible either. Like, this is actually a pretty decent house, and you're getting this likely 3,000 square feet above grade, and you're getting it for under $1 million. So that's not a bad space either. They got their own sauna. Is that built in? Sometimes you see people where they buy those saunas that they put in their house, but this looks like this is a built-in sauna in the house. That is interesting. Okay. Yeah, there you go. And then the other area to show you is if we back out of this and we come up here, you see these streets right here? They're a little bit different off Kenilworth. They're a little different, but the same thing. You get a lot of ranches. You get, some raised ranches. You get some 2-stories all around here. These are going to sell maybe in the 600,000 or 700,000s if they're just the basic raised ranches. But there's a lot of 2-stories and stuff that'll sell for a bit more money. And the cool spot about this too is that again, you're right by, you got Walmart right here. You're right in behind Walmart and some of the nice restaurants right over here. And then you got the mall right over here. So, and you got the EC Row Expressway right here. So this is another really good thing about living in South Windsor is that you got the intercity highway right at your front door. So if you need to scoot across town over here, it's going to take you 10, 15 minutes rather than half an hour by taking city streets. And of course, this whole area, you're close to the 401 as well. That is it for South Windsor for today. I'll do LaSalle, I'll do Tecumseh, I'll do Lakeshore, I'll do everything in the city eventually, okay? If you have any questions about moving to Windsor and you need some help figuring out where's the right area for you, how much should you be spending, my phone number's on the screen. You can give me a call and we can talk about your goals and how I can help you reach them.